watching WBRC Fox 6 News. Good Day, Alabama.
Former President Trump ordered to appear in federal court tomorrow afternoon. More on the indictment handed down just days before a campaign stop in Alabama and the statement from his legal team.
A new law in Alabama designed to protect children from secondhand smoke in a vehicle. How this law will be implemented coming up.
A new way for those of you in Gadsden to communicate with city leaders is coming. Why the city believes this new technology will improve the way things get done.
Welcome in, everybody. Glad you're with us. For those of you joining us online, good morning to you. I'm Janice Rogers.
And I'm Mike Durwood. It's great to have you with us. Mickey Ferguson getting a check on your weather. Good morning, Mickey.
Good morning to you. And we're getting started here with really three things to know about your weather here today. Let's focus in on those. Partly cloudy, dry day today. We do have those humidity levels that are going to start to climb, though, today. Really getting a lot more soupy as we get into Thursday and going into the weekend. Speaking of Thursday, we do have strong storms possible tomorrow. We'll get into that here more in detail in just a second. Looking out live right now, though, into Summerton, Alabama, you can see 64 degrees, a cool start there into Walker County. We have temps in the 60s in many locations, so a cooler start today compared to what we saw at this time yesterday. Normal lows are 72 degrees, so we're not only at that mark in Birmingham, close to it, but a little bit cooler than normal in many locations. AccuTrack radar not showing much going on here, and we're really not anticipating any rainfall in our area today. You can still see some showers off to our northwest, coming out of Missouri and into Illinois, but far cry from here. So as we get into this afternoon, we're looking at temperature readings warming up to about 93 degrees today into Birmingham, low 90s to, well, most of us in the low 90s this afternoon. A little bit more cloud cover later on today, but a pretty quiet afternoon for us. If you're going to the Barons baseball games, there's two of them. One of them starts at 4:30 there at Regions Field. They're taking on Rocket City at 93 degrees at 4:30 p.m. and the game two starts at 7 p.m. 87 degrees at that contest. So, but we should have dry conditions. Now, we were speaking about the humidity climbing. Yeah, that mugginess in the air starts to climb. Dew points into the mid to even upper 70s, so it gets a little bit more uncomfortable, a lot more uncomfortable outside. But we also have a chance of not only rainfall tomorrow, but some of those thunderstorms. And here's more on those that damaging wind threat, maybe some heavy rain and frequent lightning. So first alert heads up, we could see some strong storms roll in tomorrow. Let's take a look at our futurecast data associated with that. And Thursday morning looks pretty quiet, but things start ramping up in the afternoon hours. That shows a cluster of some storms into northwest Alabama at about 2 p.m. Beyond that, you can see at about 4 p.m., getting close to our evening rush hour, we could see some heavy downpours in and around the Birmingham metro area, up through parts of St. Clair County into Etowah County, moving in, Blount County. And you can see most of that dissipates overnight. But then Friday, we could see another round. That shows a little cluster of thunderstorms rolling through Friday afternoon into northeast Alabama. So Thursday into Friday, first alert heads up, we could see some strong storms. More into, looks like more likely on Thursday, but then some scattered storms possible on Friday. We make it into the weekend, warm and muggy, some scattered showers there. And if you've checked out our 10-day forecast on our First Alert weather app, you know we have scattered showers going into next week as well. As far as the 7-day forecast, that's represented here by Monday and Tuesday with a 40% chance of rain. That is a look at the next 7 days. Let's get a check on traffic now with Toy.
Okay, thank you very much, Mickey. We are taking a live look at I-2059 here in the Birmingham area, downtown Birmingham. Traffic moving nice and smoothly there. Seeing those beautiful lights under the bridge there, making for a nice morning, a nice commute this morning at 5 o'clock, 5:04 to be exact here. As we look at things across the area, we have no issues or concerns to report to you. Perhaps some areas of road work, but we're not really seeing delays from those. So that's the good news here as we, of course, progress through this morning. We'll keep an eye on things for you. Janice?
Thank you, Toy. This morning, former President Donald Trump is facing a new indictment just days before his scheduled appearance in Montgomery on Friday.
He's been ordered to appear in federal court tomorrow afternoon for his arraignment. He's indicted on 4 federal charges stemming from the special counsel's probe into what led to the January 6th Capitol riot. Those charges: conspiracy to defraud the U.S., conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding, obstruction of an attempt to obstruct an official proceeding, and conspiracy against rights. And the indictment alleges Trump knew he lost but tried to illegally circumvent the process to remain in power.
The attack on our nation's capital on January 6, 2021 was an unprecedented assault on the seat of American democracy. As described in the indictment, it was fueled by lies.
Trump's legal team releasing a statement saying this is nothing more than the latest corrupt chapter in the continued pathetic attempt by the Biden crime family and their weaponized Department of Justice to interfere with the 2024 presidential election. The former president, who leads the GOP presidential primary field, already pleaded not guilty to 37 counts related to his alleged improper handling of classified documents.
Meanwhile, it is uncertain if a trial would even happen in either case before the 2024 election. In his first interview since the announcement of charges against Carlee Russell, Hoover Police Chief Nick Durzis talked about the moment he became skeptical of her story. He says it was when they saw this interstate cam video and matched it up with Russell's 911 call. The chief joined Mike and me yesterday morning on Good Day Extra.
That showed pretty much the vehicle traveling, and then especially the distance that it traveled. And then it took about 24 hours before, or maybe less than 24 hours, when we started getting the extraction from the cell phone. And we started seeing the things like, Amber Alert, taken.
Chief Durzis reiterated that he's happy Carlee Russell made it home safe, but still wants to hear from her about those 49 hours she claimed to be kidnapped, but later admitted was a lie.
The man accused of killing Bibb County Deputy Brad Johnson and injuring another is pleading not guilty by mental defect. The indictment against Austin Hall was read in court Tuesday before he entered his not guilty plea. The court appearance was actually conducted in Shelby County, where Hall is in custody, but it was shown on video screens inside a Bibb County courtroom.
This morning, a 19-year-old woman is facing assault charges in a shooting that injured a 4-year-old girl in early July. Court documents say that Tania Lowry did not store the gun in a safe place, and the child was able to get to the weapon. Police say Lowry is related to the child, who is expected, thankfully, to survive. The Tuscaloosa County Sheriff's Office investigating this morning after a shooting on I-59 at mile marker 86. This is the scene here. Deputies say that a driver fired a gun at another vehicle while both were traveling in the southbound lanes. The Violent Crimes Unit is investigating. We're told the victim has non-life-threatening injuries. Well, Birmingham city leaders announced that they'll commemorate the 60 years since the 16th Street Baptist Church bombing. As
you know, Addie Mae Collins, Cynthia Wesley, Carol Robertson, and Carol Denise McNair were killed in that bombing by KKK members on September 15, 1963. Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson will be a keynote speaker during that week of events. Mayor Woodfin emphasizing during the press conference what the important series of events will be about.
We have to teach the present and the next generation that history. It cannot be forgotten. And 60 years from now, we still need to teach and share what happened here in Birmingham and the impact it's had.
For a closer look at these scheduled events, just go to the WBRC website or the WBRC News app.
A new law went into effect this week, making it illegal in Alabama to smoke or vape in a car with a child 14 years or younger inside that vehicle.
The state health department says secondhand smoke inside a car can make certain health conditions worse for children. Russell Jones live and on your side to explain further. Russell?
Hey, good morning. Well, this is a secondary violation, meaning that if an officer pulls you over and then they think you were smoking in the car and a child was present, yeah, you can be fined up to $100, and it starts today. Now, it all started with Representative Rolanda Hollis. She says she was inspired to create the law after refusing to ride in a smoky truck with her husband. Now, she says adults can choose to get in a car with someone smoking, but kids can't. She says, obviously, it's terrible for their health and it's not fair. Now, we spoke to Dr. Karen Landers with the Alabama Department of Public Health. She says it's dangerous really for anyone in a vehicle with smoke.
Small space with an increased number of particles, particulate matter in the air that these kids are breathing in. So I think the car is just compounding the issue because, again, the infant can't be taken out of that environment.
Now, Lander says her best piece of advice for anyone is just to stop smoking. If not for yourself, do it for your family so that you live a longer and healthier life. Reporting live, Russell Jones, WBRC, Fox 6 News, on your side.
Thank you, Russell. Another new law taking effect in Alabama is designed to increase the number of physicians across our state. It's doing away with the special purpose exam for our out-of-state physicians wanting to practice here. Now, Alabama was one of a few that still required that test. The new law also streamlined the process for medical graduates to join the workforce. The Medical Association says right now, Alabama needs about 600 more primary care doctors.
Those of you living in Gaston will soon have a new and they hope easier way to communicate with city leaders. It's a new app called See Click Fix. It allows you to notify the city about potholes, other issues for the Public Works Department to address. The new app will be available in a few weeks.
Well, the state says that we're now seeing more of the impact of the pandemic has had on some of our children. The state released the 2023 ACAP scores for individual schools. It shows more than 12,000 third graders, more than 11,000 second graders were not reading on grade level. Based on the state's Literacy Act, 5,000 students could be held back. In Birmingham City, 14 schools, 50% or more of second and third graders are reading below grade level.
But here's the deal. We know what we've got to focus on. We know what we've got to do to improve. We have a plan for it. We have the right people. We're looking forward to this year to really hone in on those core and those essential areas so that our students see the growth at the end of the year.
We really want to make sure that our parents understand the Numeracy Act is coming and that the Literacy Act is here. So for those kids who are in third grade this year, they will be, if they're not reading on grade level and don't meet one of those criteria, they will be held back.
School leaders believe that literacy camps over the summer, though, will help bring down the number of third graders having to repeat their grade. Well, dozens of local students are now ready for the new school year thanks to a Birmingham company's generous donation.
People from BioHorizons put together 150 backpacks full of school supplies. They gave them out a few days ago to kids in Bibb, Shelby, and St. Clair counties. This back-to-school program has been going on for 26 years. All right, we thank you for joining us for this news update online. We'll be back in the next half hour.
All right, and we'll see you on air in the 7 o'clock hour right after the Women's World Cup. See you then.